Hello everyone, welcome to GW Pro Trading. It's Win Michael here, and in today we're going to be looking at technical setups we have on AUDCAD. If you're new to this channel, I recommend that you subscribe and also smash on the notification bell on this channel so you'll be getting information whenever I post content such as this one. Alright, today we're going to be looking at AUDCAD, and we're going to be looking at what point we're going to start looking for sell opportunities, and also what point we're going to start looking for buying opportunities. And I'm going to be sharing with you also step by step how I will look to approach this one on a trading sense. All right. So first we move on to a multi-time frame, which we are right now, and then I'm going to be sharing with you also step up from the multi-time frame as well using an Elliot wave perspective, and also from a smaller time frame we're going to be seeing where we want to be looking to take some trades. Okay, so looking at this one for a monthly time frame, this is what the chart looks just like. Okay, we have more of an undefined move. We are not trending, okay, but we can as well see that there are some areas which we can start looking for buying and selling opportunities, okay, based on previous structure. So we're going to go ahead put up this structure here. So this could be termed as an overall resistance over a period, okay, and this could also be termed as an overall support over a period, and we'll look at that. Okay, so we could say that we are more of in a sideways market over a certain period, or say the last 20 years, all right, say the last 20 years, all right, from 2000 we've been more in a sideways market. We've not really made new highs, we've not really made that crazy lows. Okay, so we've been between this huge range, with this huge range of looking at support right around here, just maybe right around here, and we look at high just right around here. However, price did drop below this point here back in 2007, and also price did break above previous structure, which was high previous here, and in also 2011 January. All right, so we had price test a new high, all right, prior to that time. All right, so moreover, what we are doing right now, we are more of in a big consolidation, okay, big consolidation, and we could be looking at a possibility that price could as well be trading inside that consolidation for quite a while. All right, so what are we going to be looking to do for this one here? We've seen price have then hit the high right here. So from this high right here, which we've seen price hit, we're going to be looking at that there is more possibility of supply eminent or still embedded in this move here. We have price drop from this supply right here, and we have price test this support, what could also be a medium-term support here. Price having rejected this one, rejected right around here, and then drop to clearing this structure. Okay, so if we look at this, we could also identify that price have did clear the very first potential structure, which we could have termed as support right around here. That was back in 2013 and also 2014. This structure was also cleared with this big move to the downside. Okay, with this big move to downside, this was cleared, and then price fell back into retesting certain structures there. All right, so if you go over to see what levels of Fibonacci retracement we would have looked to retrace back, we did retrace back nicely up to the 78.6, which is the overswitch spot, which I'm looking at here on my chart here. And you know, guys, as well, I did edit my Fibonacci tool into overswitch and also switch spot. This helps me to see cleanly. All right, so you just need to understand this, guys. All right, so this is the 78.6 of this swing, retracement of this swing into this point here. So we could look at we could look at a possibility that price may want to test back certain structures. Okay, so certain structures could as well be the lows. Okay, so certain structures could as well be the lows, which was previous structure here, before we can then reevaluate where next price would go to. So if price would respect this structure here, price would want to test this lows back in this territory. Price would want to test and just maybe reject this point here before we can then look for the next direction for price. Having also similar setup right here, which also price dropped into this point, retraced back into testing these lows, went back up, supply was also present there, and you can see that price went back into rejecting, and then that also sent price back back, breaking the structure here. However, price is retraced, and then we're looking at a possibility of price then falling back into this zone for another test. All right, so if we could be looking at price then bouncing off a certain structure here and then continue to the next upside, I think that way we could be looking at testing back new highs. All right, we could be looking at testing back new highs, but I'm going to be looking at a more bearish scenario for this one over a long term than a bullish one. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at this bearish scenario over a long term than a very bearish one, than a bullish one. Okay, so for this one here, we're going to look at on a weekly time frame. All right, so we've drawn a trading plan on a monthly time frame, and we're going to go ahead to draw a trading plan on a weekly time frame. On a weekly time frame, what we could also identify on a weekly time frame is that we also had a similar structure to what looked just like this one previously. Okay, so remember guys, when I was speaking about this on a monthly time frame, we had this sort of structure here where price bounced twice, bounced 3 times, and then broke through that point. But however, price did consolidate a little bit in here before then the next drop, the big drop came. Okay, so we could as well be looking at a weekly time frame. We also have some sort of similar scenario here, which price have also formed here, bouncing once inside of this territory, bouncing twice inside of this territory, then clearing the range. Whatever is happening here could also be a pullback into the upside in order to look for liquidity, and then for the next big drop would come to the downside. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be planning for a retracement up to certain Fibonacci retracement areas, which I'm going to be looking at with you guys in the daily time frame. Right, so I expect price to then push up, then some sort of consolidation or retrace into some sort of areas before the next big move would come to downside. However, price can also respect this support previous structure here, which could also turn resistance here at one point. That I do not know, but I'm going to be looking at a possibility that price may just want to retrace, having looked at what this candle is here, because this is a very strong bullish engulfing candle, and definitely it showed me great sign that there is so much buying momentum inside of this territory here, and that could also continue in the few weeks to come. All right, so looking at a daily time frame, we can also identify from a daily time frame is that we are at a very key important area here, having first retracement here once, twice, 3 times, and then also before price then drop back into the zone. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you also what I'm also going to be looking at it from an Elliot wave perspective. Okay, so for the Elliot wave, what we do at the Elliot wave here at GW Pro Trading as well, I also inform traders that basically when you have a triangle, okay, when you have a triangle, that a triangle can either appear at the fold wave or at the B wave. Okay, so you can have a triangle appear at a fold wave. Say you have an impulse, correction impulse, and you can have a triangle here. So a triangle will most likely appear on a fold wave, such as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe 5. A fold wave or a B wave of an A, B, C, D, E triangle right here, and then the next wave to the upside. All right, so this is going to be our A, B, and then a C to the upside before we then look for the next drops to the downside. All right, so in this one here, I'm going to be sharing with you what I think as well from an Elliot wave perspective as well, and how I intend to approach this one and what this is. Okay, so let's go down to the 4-hourly time frame and also the 1-hourly time frame, and let me share with you guys what I think is going to happen and how this one is, I expect to play out this one with you guys. Okay, so what I think is also happening here, if I go ahead then put up the labelings, we can as well see that what is going on here, guys, is a possibility that this is a triangle. Okay, so this is a triangle, and as you guys know, triangle appears on the B wave or at the B wave or the fold wave. Okay, so you want to see triangle at the fold wave or at the B wave. I'm going to go ahead and label these guys for you guys, and also what I'm going to be looking at with my labeling right here. So I think from this high here, we could have possibly had an A, B, C, D, and then probably an E to the downside. Okay, so that could have been possible, but I'm looking at here as an overall impulse first. I'm going to be looking at here as an A. So I'm going to be looking at this as an A. If I want to go ahead then label this internal structure, I can as well label this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just maybe a 5. Okay, I can look at labeling that as a 5, and then this internal structure being a triangle, I could then as well label this as overall stroke to downside as A, bigger wave, and then a B, sideways consolidation, and then the next move to downside, which also create an A, B, C downside. All right, so what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at a possibility that from right around here at this extreme here down to these lows, that price have completed a bigger A wave. All right, I'm looking at this as price have completed a bigger A wave from this point right around here to this point right around here. Price look more like completing a bigger A wave. I'm looking at this as an overall bigger A wave. Whatever is happening here, I'm looking at this as a possibility that consolidation might also still come into this point here, and that is what I'm going to be looking at for a B wave. All right, so if I'm looking at this as a B wave, I'm going to be looking at areas where I want to start seeing price then move back down from. All right, so I'm going to be looking at here on using my Fibonacci tool. I'm going to draw a Fibonacci from a swing high right here to a swing low down here, and you can as well identify that the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement area is inside of this territory. All right, I'm going to point that out first. I'm going to also point out this second territory as well. All right, this second territory here as well, I'm going to point it out to you guys. Okay, so here is where we had previous structure, which is of the B leg. And if I go ahead and label this a little bit, let me just go ahead and increase the font size for this one here to maybe just 9. I think I love it like for 9. So I have it for B in here, and I have it for C down here. All right. Okay, so I have it for C down here, and this is complete for ABC. All right, ABC, or we can as well say that this is an AB equals to CD structure. For those that want to look at it that way, we can then look at this as an AB equals to CD kind of structure as well. Okay, so we could be looking at this as some sort of that structure for an AB equals to CD structure, and you can expect that the next move could as well continue to the upside, at least for a completion of this pattern here before now the next move comes to the downside. All right, so for this one here, we've looked at certain scenarios, we've looked at certain setups as well, we've looked at certain trading plan as well, and how we're going to be looking for the completion of the corrective pattern to complete. So for this one here, however, once price complete for the corrective pattern here, you want to wait for the next big move to the downside. All right, so the next big move we're going to aim at certain statistical areas. Statistical areas is where we're going to look to aim. We want to look to aim from this territory here. When price completes, we want to look to aim at first our very first TP, which I always point out to you guys is going to be the previous structure. What created the impulse, what created the correction, that structure is going to act as the magnet to price. Okay, so for this one here, we're going to aim around this point here, we're going to aim about 225 pips, and we're going to aim for price to continue downward up to the 127 Fibonacci extension of that swing, which is going to be around inside of this territory here. If I just go ahead and put that down into that zone, then you can as well see that you will be looking to aim at just maybe 270, 280 pips inside of that territory for the next drop to come. All right, so see you next time. Like and also share with friends. That's the best thank you, and it also help in the creation of more educational videos such as this one. I love you all. Remain blessed.